Tonight on Nebraska Nightly.
Crash on Highway 77 in Old Cheney.
False report at Gateway Mall.
Former Husker files lawsuit.
This is Nebraska Nightly.
Live from the Don and Lorena Meyer studio at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Journalism and Mass Communications, this is Nebraska Nightly.
Welcome to Nebraska Nightly. I'm Evie Storjohn.
And I'm Priscilla Castaneda.
Our top story tonight, breaking news out of Bloomfield, Nebraska. Law enforcement is teaming up to investigate a double homicide in Bloomfield. The Nebraska State Patrol is working with the Knox County Sheriff's Office and Bloomfield Police Department. The crime happened just after midnight early this morning. The State Patrol says multiple persons of interest are in custody, but no suspects have been identified. Troopers are posted around Bloomfield to ensure community safety. Bloomfield is located in eastern Knox County with a population just over 1,000. Officials are currently working to notify the family of the two deceased individuals and hope to be able to release information soon. The investigation is ongoing.
After 2 years, former Husker women's basketball player Ashley Scoggin filed a lawsuit against former assistant coach Chuck Love Jr., head coach Amy Williams, UNL athletic director 12 Alberts, and the UN Board of Regents. The court documents Scoggins filed claimed former assistant coach Chuck Love groomed and pursued her for a sexual relationship. She also believes denying sexual favors dropped her playing time. In the lawsuit, Scoggins blames Alberts for not ordering an investigation. She also blames Coach Williams for punishing her by removing her from the team. Scoggin is seeking compensation for physical and mental suffering, as well as the loss of her spot on the women's basketball team.
Police arrested a teenage caller on Saturday after they responded to a false report of an active shooting at Gateway Mall. The Lincoln Police Department says the report has happened at the Ross Dress for Less store at 7:23 p.m. As they responded, the caller was still in the area, and it was determined there was never an active shooter. An 18-year-old male was arrested for false reporting, obstructing a government operation, and assaulting a police officer with body fluid. There was no ongoing threat to the public, and the call was considered a hoax.
One person is in critical condition after a crash between a semi and an SUV at Highway 77 in Old Cheney Monday morning. Lincoln Police and Fire and Rescue responded to the crash around 6 a.m., with them closing down part of the Highway 77. The Lincoln Police are still trying to find out what caused the accident. The police say no citations have been issued.
Two UNL professors are first-round winners in a competition for the National Institute of Health. Professor Janusz Zempliny and Jean-Tao Gu are Phase 1 winners in a three-phase competition, winning $25,000 to put towards their research. The duo will be able to advance their development of universal milk exosomes that transport gene editors to any location in the body.
I mean, the platform that we developed allows actually to deliver any therapeutic cargo to any pathological tissue. So in other words, we were really hoping for having, at the end of the day, having something that allows us to treat or prevent or cure any disease known to mankind.
Zempliny stated this technology could treat any disease known to mankind, both rare and common. They are preparing their application for Phase 2 of the challenge, where they could win $250,000 and the ability to compete in Phase 3.
Nebraska student teachers have the opportunity to receive 100% tuition waivers starting in 2025. Under Legislative Bill 953, proposed by the State Senator Caitlin Koth of Omaha, due to a teacher shortage, the program is proposed to run for 6 school years and is estimated to cost about $15 million in the lost tuition revenue. Student teachers and veteran teachers report that it is unfeasible to support yourself through multiple jobs, attend classes, and student teach. The education system is currently in a teacher drought. because of the low-paying wages of teaching jobs, but State Senator Caitlin Koth reports that this new legislative bill will be an incentive to increase the number of student teachers. Colby Koch of Nebraska Association of the School Boards reports the Education Committee is considering more than a dozen bills of teacher shortages, but says LB 953 stands out as the one to fix the issue.
After seeing a bit of snow on Friday, we are back up into the 60s in the middle of February. Meteorologist Logan Schlottman has some more information about what is going on with this weather.
Most of the area is going to be in those 60s with temperatures all the way in the rest of the state, with 69 in Norfolk, 64 over in O'Neill, and then over into Nebraska, more Lincoln and Omaha. We have 71 in Lincoln and 67 in Omaha. We did get a new record today, or tied for a record at least, which we have 71 back in 1991, so we can rewrite that a little, but it'll still be sunny outside, 21-mile-per-hour wind coming from the southwest, and then no wind chill, and it's really nice and dry outside. With weather headlines for today, tonight it's going to be a calm evening. Tuesday through Sunday, it's going to be more seasonally above average temps, and then going into next week, we're going to be seeing some rain chances with temperatures cooling just a little. With our satellite and radar, it's going to be no clouds over in the southeastern part of the United States, with a lot more systems over in the western parts, especially by the Rocky. But that's not going to be translating over into Nebraska for this week, with only a little bit of some showers, especially not in the Lincoln area. There's very small amounts that might not even be minuscule or even pop up for a precipitation chance. While we're going to be seeing wind gusts is going to be our main factor, with northwest winds coming in from the northern parts of the United States, bringing in wind gusts from 20 to 30 miles per hour on Tuesday and Thursday as well. Like I was talking about, those rain chances are going to be 0% from Wednesday all the way to Sunday, but then from Monday on to Tuesday, they're going to be 20%. While later conditions tonight, it's going to be 33 degrees as a low, south-southwest wind of 6 to 10 miles per hour. It's going to be a calmer evening, and winds are going to start dying down around after midnight. While tomorrow, temperatures are still going to be high with a 65 degrees with the east-southeast wind of 6 to 8 miles per hour. It's going to be mostly sunny and more above average temperatures, and we should hit that high around 3 to 4 p.m. While taking a look at the week ahead, those temperatures are going to be staying more fluctuant around maybe low 60s to upper 50s before we finally start seeing a warming pattern hit that Saturday onto Monday, with 65 on Saturday, 67 on Sunday, and then 70 all the way up on Monday. And then Tuesday will drop down back down to 60 due to that precipitation. That's all I have for the weather today, and we'll take it back to the desk.
Thanks, Logan. Coming up after the break.
The United Nations is working towards a new ceasefire pact for the Gaza war.
2 suspects in the Kansas City shooting have been charged with murder.
And Capital One is purchasing Discover Card.
The need for blood never stops, and at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood, but imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board, so every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
Welcome back to Nebraska Nightly. The U.S. proposed a United Nations Security Council draft resolution, which calls for a temporary ceasefire in Gaza. The draft resolution falls short of what many Security Council members are calling for, which is an immediate ceasefire. The draft also calls for the release of Israeli hostages, while also warning against an Israeli ground incursion into Rafah. It says a ground incursion would result in further harm to civilians, as well as having, quote, serious implications for regional peace and security. The draft comes as the U.S. vetoed an Algerian draft proposal calling for an immediate ceasefire. The U.S. has previously voted against at least 2 Security Council resolutions on the conflict. It is unclear when or if the U.S. draft will be put to a vote.
2 suspects in the Kansas City shooting are charged with murder. The two men are Lyndall Mays of Raytown and Dominic Miller of Kansas City. They are both charged with second-degree murder and being held on $1 million bond after the shooting at the end of the Chiefs Super Bowl victory parade. Two juveniles were arrested on other charges. The Jackson County prosecutor says both defendants have been hospitalized and in custody since the shooting, though they were both charged with murder. Miller's firearm was the one that fatally wounded disc jockey Lisa Lopez Galvin, a mother of two.
The Wall Street Journal reports Capital One is buying Discover Financial Services, citing people familiar with the matter. The deal would combine two of the largest credit card companies in the United States. The Journal reports the all-stock deal could be announced as early as Tuesday. Capital One has a market value of more than $52 billion. Discover's market value is $28 billion. The merger would be one of the biggest mergers this year. Capital One uses MasterCard and Visa for most of its cards. The Wall Street Journal also reports Capital One plans to switch at least some of them to the Discover network and keep the Discover brand.
It is recommended that teens should sleep 8 to 10 hours per night, but health experts say many are getting far less sleep than that and can have a significant impact on their health and their development. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains how lack of sleep can affect teens and how parents can help prioritize getting those Z's.
It's an important part of everyone's health, but sleep is especially critical for those who are still growing.
A lot of the important functions that they're developing, including executive functioning, decision making, emotion regulation, impulse control, those skills are all developing during sleep.
The CDC says youth who don't get enough sleep have a higher risk of obesity, diabetes, injuries, poor mental health, and problems with attention and behavior.
It also is that our growth hormone is released during sleep, so our adolescents are literally growing during sleep.
Lisa Meltzer is a pediatric sleep specialist with National Jewish Health. She says for many teens, a big barrier to sleep is social media. Recently, Meta introduced a nighttime nudge on Instagram that encourages teen users to stop scrolling late at night.
This is useful because teens can't turn the nudges off. They can't ignore them, but at least they pop up and give teens a sense that it's getting late and perhaps it's time to wind down, turn the technology off.
Parents also play a role in helping teens prioritize sleep. Meltzer says bedtime routines are important. Have them go to bed and get up at roughly the same times every day, even on weekends. She says not to stay up too late or sleep in more than 2 hours.
Even though it feels like they need that sleep, it's going to set their circadian rhythm off, and that's going to make it harder for them to fall asleep come Sunday night.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
For students who feel like they're having trouble sleeping, they can visit health.unl.edu/sleep resources.
Coming up after the break.
Husker men's basketball takes the win over Penn State.
Women's basketball battles Purdue.
And a softball gets another win.
How about this much?
I don't know.
Well, how about this much?
I don't know.
How about...
Actually, I don't know.
Okay, maybe this much?
I don't know.
The very tip of your pencil, a fraction of a raindrop, 3 grains of salt. That's how much it takes for a dose of fentanyl to become lethal. Learn more at realdealonfentanyl.com.
Of the 40 million tons of plastic waste generated in the U.S. in 2021, only 5%, or 2 million tons, was recycled. Make sure you do your part in keeping Anderson Hall clean. For more information on recycling statistics, visit epa.gov today.
So we have here tonight at sports, we have Sarah, I forgot your last name.
We have Sarah Pearson here with sports.
It was an action-packed weekend for Husker sports. Men's basketball took on Penn State at Pinnacle Bank Arena, looking for a nation-leading 16th win at home. 11:39 to go first half. CJ Wilcher drives and lays it in to make it 12-6. Former Husker Sam Griesel cheering on the Big Red today. Now it's Keisei Tominaga doing what he does best. A step-back three puts Nebraska up by 13. A few possessions later, Jamarcus Lawrence misses from beyond the arc, but Jawan Gary is there to finish it. Huskers go on to win with a final score of 68-49. Head coach Fred Hoiberg praised his team's resiliency in playing tough defense.
On the defensive end, when the ball's not going in the hoop, it keeps you in the game. And we've had a couple where our lack of offense has affected our defense. Tonight, we really grinded out stops.
Nebraska women's basketball taking on Purdue. We start things off in the second quarter. It's Kendall Coley giving it off to Jazz Shelley, and the Aussie hits it from way down under to tie the game at 26. Third quarter now, Huskers up by 4. Alexis Markowski finds Logan Nisley, and she banks a logo three. Back-to-back triples from the freshman puts Nebraska up 42-35. We move to the fourth, and Markowski misses the initial shot, but gets the putback. She finished with 21 points and 21 rebounds. Nebraska rolls in this one, winning with a final score of 77-65. Nebraska softball was in action at the Troy Cox Classic, hosted by New Mexico State, and lost their first game on Friday to the host 3-0, but went 4-0 the rest of the weekend. Taking on the Aggies 4-1 in Game 2, the Huskers then swept a doubleheader on Saturday, defeating Montana 15-4 in 5 innings, and Sacramento State 5-4. They wrapped up their stay in Las Cruces, defeating the Hornets again on Sunday with a final score of 8-3. Senior Sydney Gray had an outstanding performance over the weekend, hitting 3 home runs and 10 RBIs with an .875 slugging percentage. These impressive numbers earned Gray the Big Ten Co-Player of the Week honor. It is the second conference weekly honor of her career. Nebraska improves to 6-3 overall and will head to Cathedral City for the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic starting on Friday. Husker baseball started its season at the Shriner Children's College Showdown at Globe Light Field in Arlington, Texas. Nebraska went 1-2 to start the season, defeating Baylor 4-1. Then they dropped 2 games in heartbreaking fashion, falling to number 21 Texas Tech 6-3 and Oklahoma 7-6, both in the 9th inning. The Huskers will continue their season starting on Thursday when they head to Phoenix to take on Grand Canyon University in a 4-game series. It was a doubleheader for Husker gymnastics on Saturday at home. First up were the men. Huskers taking on Army in Greenville inside the Bob. Let's start on the high bar. Zach Tiedemann nails the dismount, scores a career-best 14.65. Now it's Chase Mondi on vault, another career high for Nebraska, 14.85. The impressive feat earned Mondi Big Ten Freshman of the Week. Huskers win the meet and secure a sweep of the Conference Weekly Awards. Nebraska women's gymnastics taking on number 23 ranked Penn State. Here is Kinsey Davis with a solid stick on bars. She scores a 9.85. We move to the third rotation, Huskers on beam, and it's Chenge Bachkoy nailing the dismount, scoring a career-high 9.825. It was a tight meet and Nebraska trailed throughout, but Emma Spence crushes the final routine of the night, getting a 9.9 to secure the comeback victory for the Huskers. Spence and Bachkoy tie for the all-around title, and Nebraska takes down the Nittany Lions by 1/10 of a point. Head coach Heather Brink talked about staying in the moment.
Going out and having some fun, doing what they normally do in training, and just fight, right? Like, you got to step up and fight routine by routine and 10th for 10th. So that's what I feel like they did a really good job staying in that space.
What an exciting week to be a Husker, wouldn't you agree?
Yes, it was a very exciting week for Husker sports, and the action doesn't stop from there. Tonight, women's basketball takes on Northwestern, and you can actually tune into the game on KRNU too, as I will be on the call for that here in just a little bit.
Well, we'll be excited to watch. Coming up after the break.
Oscar-nominated films are being shown at the Ross.
Student designers show off their style.
Anthony Fantano comes to campus.
Blood never stops, And at the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, your blood could help save lives. Right now, only 7% of the population donates blood, but imagine if there were more.
We're sitting at below a 7-day level of supply of all blood types across the board. So every blood type is important, and we need all donors of all types to come in and donate right now.
At the Nebraska Community Blood Bank, they believe that all types make a strong blood supply.
It's a big weekend in Lincoln. Maddie Fox is here with all the details.
The Ross Media Arts Center will be showing the 2024 Oscar-nominated short films until February 29th, with 3 different categories offered: animated, live action, and documentary. This is your annual chance to see the best short films of the year. For tickets, showtimes, and more information, visit theross.org. More than 30 students and alumni from UNL's Department of Textiles, Merchandising, and Fashion Design will showcase their designs this week. Join them for the Omaha Fashion Week Spring 2024 show from February 21st to the 24th at the Omaha Design Center. If you would like to support some fellow Huskers, visit news.unl.edu for more information. The university's Programming Council is hosting Anthony Fantano on February 22nd from 7:30 to 9 p.m. in the Swanson Auditorium in the Union. Anthony Fantano is a music critic journalist named the only music critic that matters by the New York Times. His YouTube channel has more than 2.8 million subscribers and 928 million views. He has written pieces for Vogue, The Washington Post, and NPR. During the event, he'll be doing a Q&A, and this event is free for UNL students, but make sure to get there early because there are only 300 seats available on a first-come, first-served basis. For more information, visit events.unl.edu. That's all for entertainment today. Back to you at the desk.
Well, let's take one last look at our 7-day forecast. Logan?
If you're a fan of sunshine, you're going to like what the rest of the week has to offer, with temperatures all the way up, going into the 70s all the way by Monday, before finally declining down to 60 degrees on Tuesday. Now, hopefully soon they will bring out the fountain again and maybe some hammocks with these temperatures coming back.
Oh, that would be amazing. I also love when the trees bloom. Just so beautiful.
We're coming close up to meteorological spring, which is March 1st, while the astronomical one's March 19th. So we'll start seeing some increase in temperatures there as well.
I can't wait to see the little duckies at the fountain in the Union. Nebraska Nightly is a student production of the University of Nebraska's College of Journalism and Mass Communications.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you this Friday at 4:30 on Nebraska Nightly.